Yo everyone, it's Sam here. Welcome back to Season with Schumi on F1 2006. In the previous race we had a bit of a weird DNF in the Nürburgring, so we need to bounce back from that today. We're in Spain then. Here's the championship standings. We're 10 points behind Alonso, so a whole race win behind with this point system, so yeah, we need to try and get back some of that today. We're going to go into qualifying now and straight into Q1 then, and at the end of my third final lap, I love this final okay, maybe I don't love this final corner, as we have a big shunt, but luckily in this it doesn't auto-retire you after you destroy a vehicle. I was able to get out a few minutes later, and as I was saying, I love that final corner, and yeah, before the chicane went in, it was 9th in Q1, which was enough to get through, and it's the usual suspects at the back, although a bit of a surprise there at the start. I managed to get ahead of the two Midland drivers. But we're going to go into Q2 now, and I wasn't going to make the same mistake as I did in Nürburgring by waiting for a few minutes to go out. So I was just having a look at the standings there. Massa was looking pretty quick then, as was Coulthard in the Red Bull actually. We come across the line then, we were second at that point I think, but it was 8th in the end, and that was the final result in Q2. Both Hondas out. That's quite a big surprise there. Wouldn't expect them to be going out in Q2 because, well, they're one of the top 4 teams in this, so quite a surprise there to see both of them go out. On to Q3 then. We've got through, well, I wouldn't say like really comfortably. It looks like Massa's a lot quicker than this weekend, as of course you expect Alonso to be in front of his home crowd. And but yeah, the big surprise there really is Coulthard, I think, in Red Bull. He's looking very quick. And here we go then, we're choosing our fuel strategy, and I actually decided to go a bit heavier because, just because I haven't been looking particularly quick so far, so I thought I might as well just stick a load of fuel in it and hope that a good strategy would put me up the field during the race, because I guessed qualifying probably wouldn't go too well. And here then in qualifying, towards the end now, we're 9th, and we improved to 7th just before the end of the session, and luckily in this, in Q3 it doesn't auto-retire you when the clock hits 0, so I was able to get that next lap in. It was an improvement just about, but it was still 7th. We only improved by I think a few hundredths of a second there, but it was enough to get us up to 7th then. Alonso on pole from Raikkonen. Massa was 3rd in the first Ferrari, so yeah, it does look like we were quite a bit off him in this. We're going to the grid then and looking through the order, and well, I don't think it's going to be too bad for us. I mean, we are going to have the Toyotas to contend with, but there are a few guys who are sort of on par with us in terms of pace, like such as Montoya and the two Hondas behind us. So I think we're not in the worst position we could be in at this stage, I don't think. But yeah, just looking through all the back of the grid then, and we're now going to head over to the race proper then. Hope for a good start. I think I should be getting a good start once again here. And it's funny because I was saying about how my R2 button wasn't working very well, but now it's suddenly fixed itself, and now my L2 button's being a bit dodgy, so that's just typical really. Got the lights and real way, and it was a pretty good start then. And I did have to go a little bit defensive full third, but I have got a good second phase of the start. I was in the slipstream of Trulli there, but it looks like he might just be out dragging me to someone. I've got a nice clear track there in front of me on the outside, but I couldn't quite do anything with it, and I maintained 7th place for now then. And we're heading around this everlasting turn 3, and well, Coulthard is right on me there, and I had to watch out for him certainly. And heading to turn 4 then, wasn't really close enough to look at that either. There's two Toyotas there, and it looks like Fisichella has passed one of them, and of course me and Fisichella, neither of us scoring points in the last race. Of course we were two main contenders in the championship really before that, so both of us really needed to score points here today then, especially with Alonso looking very quick at the front. But you know, coming onto the back straight now then, I'm in the slipstream here of Jarno Trulli, so I may just be able to have a look, and I actually almost got caught out by where he braked there, and the same with our brother Ralph. We almost hit both of them, but we have got this position. We've got one of them at least for now, and we're up into 6th place at this stage, and hoping to get past Ralph, and then there won't be any of the slower cars in our way really, and we can try and stick with the front runners as we begin lap 2. Then we've got a good run then on Ralph into turn 1 in the slipstream, and we are through and into P5 at this stage then. So yeah, that's worked out very well for us. We can go after leads now, but skipping to lap 3, so we're heading up to this campsite, I think this is, but we're on the curb and then it just spits us out, and that's a big off for us there. And unfortunately with this game it doesn't ghost you, so I really did have to just wait for everyone to go past it before I could try and rejoin. I find a nice little gap there before the Super Aguri comes through. I'm down to 18th, so it's going to be a long trek back through the field, and I think we are going to have a bit of an overtaking montage now, as first we take Liuzzi then for 17th place. Next up is Speed then for 16th. Then it's Villeneuve in P15. Cleon for 14th. Heufeld 13th. Rosberg for 12th. And then Webber for 11th. And then a few laps later we find ourselves behind Coulthard in 10th, and we almost ran to the back of them there, but I'm trying a similar move here as I did on Heufeld, and I managed to squeeze through that gap, and I'm through for now, or so I think, but he's stayed there on the outside and he's put me in the wall, and I've damaged my front wing, and I really don't want to go back through all these guys again, especially with the damaged front wing. So I did request a pit stop at this stage just to do something different, because I knew it wasn't going to work out that way if I stayed with my original strategy. So I come into the pit centre, get that front wing fixed, and just to stick a load of fuel in the car basically. As in we come, and it is going to be a long pit stop. That's probably going to put us to the back of the field then once again, but if things go to plan we should have one less stop to make in the end, so we may be able to get back into a decent position here in the race. But we'll have to wait and see as we exit the pits after almost 15 seconds stationary in the box. And we are away now then, and we are dead last at this point. In 22nd, we were almost a lap down in fact, if you look at the map. But yeah, I think there's going to be another little overtaking montage here as we take E-Day for 21st. Then it's Montero in P20. Then Sato for 18th as Albert comes in. And I think I pretty much was the only overtakes I made during that part. And then well, a few laps there, a couple more pitted. I was up in 16th, then I was actually lining up Clean, who had just pitted. So I wasn't in that bad of a position really, if you think of it that way. So I take Clean for 15th then. But then I almost lose it, touching the grass. Well, I think it was just a white line with my rear wheel. That caused me to spin, and I missed it again, so I let him through. And I was going to have to make a move again, but I was in a much better position to make the move this time. I think it was the very next lap, in fact. Line him up once again for P15 in the race. I think there's a couple more to pit still, so it would be a bit better than this, but we are up into 15th place for now then. And I think Rosberg was next head, and that does quickly become 13th. And it was actually Webber, because apparently Rosberg leapfrogged him in the pits. But here we are then down the pit straight another few laps later, still only on lap 24, as we line up Webber. Then we're in the slipstream, and we are into P12 for now, and it is now Rosberg next. But yeah, I think it's on the very next lap. Yeah, we're going through the final corner. We've messed up again. We so nearly hit the wall again, and I have damaged that rear tyre. But I think luckily it wasn't doing really much damage, but that is so annoying because I was catching Rosberg, and I've lost a load of time to him now, and now Webber and Clean might be having a look at me once again. And then on the next lap again, yep, another mistake. Well, it's weird how these things seem to come in twos. I mean, that certainly seemed to be the case at the Nürburgring, I think, at one point. But yeah, I think after I've made one mistake, I find it hard to get back into a rhythm sometimes, and especially with that tyre damage, I think that may have caused it as well. But I'm down to 14th once again, I think we may have another overtaking montage again. No, I can't roll with that again. We're past Webber into 13th, and yeah, we're gonna have to go back after clear now. Then hope we can catch Rosberg once again afterwards. We got lined up clear, and then on lap 27, and well, the overspeed there towards turn 1. There were a lot of passes going on in this race with the AI as well, just because of that long straight. We finally do catch up to Rosberg then, much later on. Well, not that much later on, but a few laps later, and almost hit him again as he pulled off into the pits right in front of us. We're up to P11 now. Then there's a few more in the pits, so it is actually going to be 10th across the line, which isn't bad. So yeah, that's pretty good for us there. And I think Button pitted at this stage as well. Of course, Honda had a bit of work to do in this race as well. So yeah, these were people coming in for our second stops, of course. And then we set the fast lap here, so we worked to 9th, and now we're lining up Ralph for P8. And I don't think he had pitted for a second time yet. I think we were just catching him up just over the course of that stint, really. And then there's a few more pit. Massa rejoins right in front of us, and you can see here that at this point I was pretty much running on as we're actually worn out, would you believe. I line up Massa then, and I'm through and past him. I mean, I was lighter on fuel, so I mean, and he had just come in, so I really didn't think there was anything immoral in overtaking him there and maybe disrupting him slightly. But we do come in at the end of the lap then, because as I said, we were running on fumes at this point, and as part of my strategy I was going to just fuel it to the end rather than go back to the original 3 stopper. But yeah, it's going to be a long stop then as we wait for the fuel to be put in, and there we go then. A bit of a slower stop than usual, 8.5, but I mean, no damage or anything to fix, so it was a bit quicker this time. We rejoin in 7th then, with no more stops to make, so I was thinking this could go pretty well here for us, just because of well, just the lap times we put in, like once the fuel started to come down. But a couple of laps later we're lapping E-Day here. He doesn't exactly make it easy for me. He parks himself in a really awkward place here. I'm trying to pass him, and oh, for God's sake, I damaged my wheel again. And I'm going to the end on these tyres, so I have to hope that's not going to cause any problems. But you know, it's just one of those days where you feel like everything is conspiring against you, really. As we come a few, I think it was on the very next lap, in fact, we're coming up behind Scott Speed, and he's not really doing much to get out of our way either. And I was getting really annoyed with this, because it's happening in qualifying as well, actually, a bit. I mean, I cut this bit out because I just tend to show a quick crash course of qualifying. I'm coming down the straight and he's brake testing me, and oh, for God's sake. Well, I don't even know what to say, really. Oh, man. Yeah, things were definitely conspiring against us in this race, weren't they? And we are out for the 3rd time this season in 6 races. And oh, I don't know what to say about. I mean, I should have known that was going to happen, really. But it doesn't make any better. Oh, I was so annoyed after that, because I really thought I could have had a podium there, actually, what with my strategy and how I'd changed it. But in the end it was Raikkonen who won. I don't think he has. Oh yeah, I think he has won a race, actually. Alonso's 2nd, so that just increases his gap. The Hondas managed to finish 3rd and 4th somehow. Massa was 5th. And then, yeah, not much to see further down, really, although Fisichella didn't score any points, which is, well, I think that's just handing it more to Alonso and Raikkonen, really. So yeah, not really that great for us there. But yeah, looking further down, and Fisichella was somehow 8 laps down. Not sure how that happened, but yep, so no points for either of us. E-Day somehow finished 17th. I mean, I think this game is a tad unrealistic, I have to say. But yeah, that was so annoying, that result. And yeah, it does look like now it is going to be a season of playing catch up. I mean, if we can like stop getting involved in these really stupid incidents, maybe. But yeah, Raikkonen then scoring the maximum points from this Grand Prix, and Alonso 2nd most, of course. So we're going to look at the standings then, and it doesn't make for very good viewing, actually, because we're down to 5th now. Even Button's overtaken us. Raikkonen's looking like the closest challenger to Alonso at the minute. We're 18 points back, but there are still 12 rounds to go, so I mean, if we won every race, then we would still be champion. That's how I tend to look at these kind of things, really. But yeah, we do have a long haul ahead of us now then to get back into the championship battle, really. And I'm sorry if I sound really depressed right now, but I'm not really, but yeah. Yeah, we didn't score too well in this race then. McLaren and Honda scored identical points for this race, and well, Honda have overtaken us as well now, so that's just great. We're down to 4th then, so we're looking now to the next race, and hoping that there won't be anything going wrong in that one. I mean, I hope we'll have a good result. I mean, I'm sure we won't get caught up in any incidents or anything there. Oh!